Everyone's got a Mustang story. Everyone I think I've ever met's got a Mustang story. I just started looking around at cars. I didn't even have Mustangs in mind. Well, a friend of mine, Adam, came to me and said, hey, my uncle's got a Fastback 4-speed car for sale. I was like, really? Let's go take a look, you know? Ended up buying this Mustang with some money my mom had saved for college that she let me use, and my money I had saved. It took me months to talk her into it, but she finally went for it. The Mustang was just the right car. It was the right color, it was a fastback, it was a GT, it was a 4-speed. So it made it, you know, 3 odd full years through high school, didn't get crashed. Motor was tired, clutch was smoked. Tons of tickets, tons of tickets. I mean, speeding tickets, audible tire friction, that was always one of my favorites. It needed some love, so it got parked end of '88, and I ended up working for a couple years and saving up to go to college. My family's always been Ford family, literally since day one. They drove cross country in the early 20s in 2 Model Ts. We were like the small town kids in the hot cars. We would all tear around these little tiny West Sonoma County towns with cops knowing exactly who we were. Not necessarily speeding, but we might have been going a little fast. We got to have such a killer experience when I think back on it, that we kind of got away with a lot. Now I don't think you could get away with so much. And as soon as I realized how much I liked mechanics and building and just cars and motorcycles and just anything with wheels and an engine that goes fast, I started going to JC in Santa Rosa and decided to actually take it seriously. Became a rarer and rarer cars as I got older. I liked Shelby's obviously because he took my car and made it work the best that it could. It's a Mustang and that's wonderful. I don't want it to be something it's not. I wanted it to be somewhat of a track car. I wanted something I could take to the track and actually worked as good as I could get it to work. First thing was just going through the motor. The motor was fine, just needed to freshen up and rebuild. Left the body completely alone. It's factory color, factory sheet metal, really super original. I did an R model hood and an R model front valance on it, which is what Shelby did. It had an interesting little 3-year lifespan before me. Well, excuse me, before I was born. Buddy Adam's dad had it running around LA and it got stolen mid-68. They thought it was gone. Well, a few days later, it turns up in Long Beach. No seats, no wheels, no motor. So they went down, picked the car up and took it to Ford, and they put 68 GT wheels on it and a 68 302 with 351 heads. Somebody knew to put this motor with these heads in this car, which was as fast and as good as you could get it in the day. It's a little bit of a bummer to me. It's not an original numbers match car as far as the motor goes. It was a numbers match Fastback GT 4-speed car. It probably would have never been touched. I'd have taken it right back to perfect stock and I would not have done a single thing to it. Because it didn't have that motor in it, it's sort of like, well, it's not stock, so. With all the modern improvements I've done, I can't believe how primitive it still is, how visceral it still is. And I couldn't believe how small it was. After having it in high school and parking it for that many years and coming back to it, I remember finishing it specifically and getting the seats in it and sitting in the headliner, I'm like, weird. And I kind of crouched down a little bit. I'm like, dude, did this thing get smaller, you know? I shut the door, I'm like, the whole thing, the whole cockpit, I'm just, like it all moved in on me. So it was the oddest thing to get used to it again. Didn't plan on keeping it for 30 years. I've thought about selling it a countless number of times. It's just always been there. I see myself using the car in a way that excites me about it again. It's an asset, it's a beautiful car, it's my baby, and I never had really a plan. I don't have kids, I don't have a wife, so I can be like, that's what we're gonna do. whole life with this car, the amount of talking I've done about this car is staggering. I'm Mark Newton, and the car is 1966 Ford Mustang GT Fastback, and that's what we're talking about.